Deep within the lush, mountainous heart of Thailand, a treacherous artery of asphalt cuts through the suffocating jungle. This narrow, winding road, a vital link between the bustling tourist hub of Phuket and the remote, sleepy villages scattered in the highlands, is more than just a difficult drive. It is a place steeped in fear, a path that locals and seasoned travelers speak of only in hushed, cautionary tones. They call it the Non-Cam Sap, the Cursed Road. While it offers the most direct route, many would rather add hours to their journey than dare to venture onto its path, for the road itself seems to possess a malevolent will, an ancient hunger that has claimed countless souls. The name isn't mere superstition born from its hairpin turns and sheer, unguarded drops. It's a title earned through a long and bloody history. Countless accidents, far too many to be dismissed as coincidence, have stained its pavement. Vehicles in perfect working order suddenly lose control. Brakes fail without warning. Drivers sober and experienced swerve to avoid phantoms that aren't there. The danger escalates exponentially as dusk bleeds into the oppressive darkness of the jungle night. It's then that the road truly awakens and the real horror begins. In the nearby villages, elders gather under the dim glow of porch lights, their faces etched with deep, ancestral fear. They warn travelers, their voices low and urgent, to complete their journey before the sun dips below the horizon. They speak of a terrifying secret the road keeps, a sorrow that has festered into a powerful, vengeful curse. They leave offerings of incense and flowers at small, makeshift shrines along the road's edge, desperate pleas to appease the tormented spirit that claims the asphalt as its eternal prison. The genesis of this curse, the story that every child in the region learns to fear, began decades ago. It was a night much like any other, thick with humidity and the drone of cicadas. A young woman, full of life and on her way home to her family after visiting her fiancé in a neighboring town, was navigating the treacherous bends. Her name, they say, was Priya. She was known for her radiant smile, a smile that would be tragically erased that fateful night. As she rounded the sharpest, most notorious bend, a curve now known as Priya's Fall, something went terribly wrong. Some say a shadow darted across the road. Others whisper that the car's steering simply locked. Her vehicle veered violently, tumbling end over end down the steep, rocky embankment. The sound of tearing metal echoed through the jungle before being swallowed by an unnerving silence. When rescuers finally reached the wreckage, they found a scene of utter devastation. The impact had been so brutal, it had disfigured her face beyond all recognition, stealing her identity along with her life. But her story did not end there. Her spirit, unable to find peace due to the violent nature of her death and the loss of her face, became tethered to the site of her demise. Since that night, her restless ghost has haunted the road, forever caught between the worlds of the living and the dead. Drivers report chilling phenomena, a sudden, inexplicable drop in temperature inside their cars, the faint sound of a woman weeping carried on the wind, or the terrifying sight of a lone female figure standing by the roadside, her hand outstretched, as if begging for a ride. Those who stop find no one there. Those who drive on often report seeing a horrifying, mangled face flash in their rearview mirror, just moments before they lose control of their own vehicle, fated to join her in the road's tragic history. Some roads possess a dark memory. Locals whisper warnings about this one, especially when the cold fog rolls in, muffling all sound. It's on nights like these that she waits. A figure emerges, a woman in a wet white dress, her face hidden by long black hair. Instinct screams to flee, but compassion takes over. You slow down to help. You blink, and in that instant, she is gone. You tell yourself it was a trick of the light, but the real horror has just begun. As you pull away, you glance in your rearview mirror. It's not the empty road you see. A twisted, bloody face stares back. Her true face stares back. Her true face says, filled with rage. She is in the car with you. The lonely figure was a test. By stopping, you failed. She punishes those who show compassion, a grim parody of the help she never received. The sudden terror causes drivers to lose control, crashing off the steep cliffs. Local police dismiss these accounts as mere superstition, attributing the accidents to slippery roads and reckless driving. However, residents of the surrounding areas refuse to deny the strange occurrences. They tell stories of strange sounds, screams for help, whispers in the wind, and a sudden drop in temperature upon passing the cursed bend. One night, a curious traveler named Samir decided to investigate the legend. Ignoring the warnings, he drove his rental car along the dangerous mountain road under a cloudy sky. His heart raced as the fog thickened, the silence broken only by the crunching of gravel under his tires. Suddenly, out of the darkness, the woman appeared. She raised her pale hand, signaling him to stop. The rain fell in relentless sheets, turning the winding cliffside road into a slick black ribbon. Each turn was a blind gamble against the roaring abyss to his left. An oppressive silence had fallen inside the car, the radio crackling into static miles ago. It was then that a primal instinct, a cold dread, began to crawl up Samir's spine. His senses screamed for flight, urging him to press the accelerator and leave this place behind. Yet, a morbid fascination, a pull towards the unknown, held him in a paralyzing grip. He felt watched, judged by the ancient, brooding cliffs. Through the frantic rhythm of the wipers, he saw her, a lone figure standing motionless at the edge of the road. He slowed the car to a crawl. The engines hummed the only sound besides the storm. It was a woman, drenched and pale, clad in a thin white dress that clung to her like a second skin. Her face was a mystery, completely obscured by a curtain of long, dark hair that dripped onto the asphalt. Why was she here? Was she hurt? He rolled down his window, the cold, damp air rushing in. "Are you okay?" he called out. The only answer was the howling wind. He squinted, trying to make sense of the impossible sight. For a heartbeat, she seemed to flicker, her form wavering like a heat haze on a summer road. He blinked, a single slow motion, and when his eyes opened, she was gone. Not run, not hidden, simply erased from existence. The spot where she had stood was now just empty road, swallowed by the swirling mist and the impenetrable darkness. A shaky laugh escaped his lips. A trick of the light, his exhausted mind playing games. He had to be imagining things. He took a deep, steadying breath and reached up to adjust his rearview mirror. And that's when his world shattered. Reflected in the small rectangle of glass wasn't the empty back seat, but a face. A woman's face, contorted in agony, with blood trickling from her temples. It was watching him, its eyes not just hollow, but black pits of despair and ancient rage that burned right through him. A guttural scream tore from his throat. His muscles seized, his hands locked on the wheel. The air in the car turned ice cold as a whisper, a sibilant, hateful sound slithered into his ear. Suddenly, the steering wheel was wrenched from his grasp by an unseen force. The car lurched violently, accelerating on its own, careening towards the cliff's edge. He fought back, his knuckles white, wrestling for control against the malevolent presence. The tires shrieked in protest, the smell of burning rubber filling the cabin as he slammed his foot on the brake, the vehicle swerving wildly. The car skidded to a halt, its front tires hanging precariously over the precipice. For a terrifying second, There was only the sound of his own ragged breathing and the pebbles skittering into the void below. He didn't hesitate. Ramming the car into reverse, he spun the wheel and floored the accelerator, leaving streaks of rubber on the cursed asphalt. As he sped away, a woman's mournful wail echoed behind him, mingling with the sound of his own frantic sobs. He glanced at the rear window and saw a single, small handprint materializing on the dewy glass from the inside. It was a promise, a mark. All his life, Samir would carry the memory, and he vowed with every fiber of his being never, ever to return to that road. He shares his terrifying story as a warning. Some places hold painful, turbulent memories that allow no peace. The road near Phuket remains a silent cemetery for lost souls, a dark passage where the veil between the living and the dead is thin, and where the ghost of the troubled woman waits, her grief and rage sealed in the endless night, a warning and a curse to all who dare stop.